Welcome to a deep dive into what is arguably one of the most intense, yet scientifically fascinating metabolic challenges one can undertake: the dry fast. Today, we're moving beyond the anecdotal and the theoretical. We are focusing with laser-like precision on the measurable data, the blood work. We're tracking glucose, ketones, and a constellation of other vital biomarkers that tell the true story of how the human body adapts when deprived of both food and water. This isn't a prescription or medical advice. It's an exploration of human physiology under extreme conditions, filtered through the objective lens of quantitative science. Our focus is the dry fast, where the body receives zero exogenous input, no calories, no hydration. This dramatically accelerates the metabolic shift compared to a water fast, pushing the system into a state of rapid, profound change. Let's start with the central players, the classic duo, glucose and ketones, the glucose roller coaster, from fuel to frugality. In the fed state, your primary energy currency is glucose, but on a dry fast, the supply line is cut. The first measurable data point to watch is blood glucose, initially in phase 1 the first 12 to 24 hours. Your liver performs glycogenolysis, breaking down stored glycogen into glucose to keep the system running. Measurably, blood glucose levels remain relatively stable, perhaps in the 80 to 95 milligrams DL range, and critically, insulin levels start to fall dramatically. This drop is the master switch signaling energy scarcity. By phase 2, the 24 to 48 hour mark, glycogen is exhausted. The liver switches to gluconeogenesis, new glucose creation, by converting amino acids and glycerol into glucose. You will likely see a measurable drop in blood glucose into the low 70s or upper 60s mg/dL. Crucial data point that signals the body is struggling to maintain glucose and is simultaneously engaging its alternative fuel source, ketones. The ketone surge, the body's ultra-fuel. Ketones are small, water-soluble molecules produced by the liver when it breaks down fat. The key measurable ketone is beta-hydroxybutyrate (BHB). In phase 1, the onset 1 to 24 hours, BHB levels are low, perhaps 0.1 to 0.5 mol/L, but the dry fast accelerates this transition dramatically, pushing the body into phase 2, nutritional ketosis, 24 to 48 hours. As the liver is flooded with fatty acids, measurable blood ketone data will jump significantly, often reaching 1.5 to 2.5 mol/L by the 48-hour mark, showing the full engagement of the fat-burning machinery. On a dry fast, this number plummets rapidly. If your glucose is 70 milligrams DL and your BHB is 2.0 mol/L, your GKI is approximately 1.94, firmly in the deep therapeutic range, showing highly efficient fat utilization. Beyond the basics, the deeper biomarkers, beyond the common glucose and ketones, other critical blood work data tells the story of adaptation. 1. Electrolytes, the dry fast signature. Since the body receives no water, it must ruthlessly conserve it by releasing vasopressin and aldosterone. The measurable data will often show a relative hemoconcentration because the plasma volume decreases. Concentrations of sodium and potassium might appear in the high normal range or slightly elevated. Simultaneously, waste products like urea and creatinine rise. As muscle protein is broken down and the kidneys are stressed by dehydration, measurable data will almost certainly show a significant rise in blood urea, nitrogen, and creatinine, which is a serious measurable data point signaling kidney stress. 2. Stress and conservation hormones. The blood work also reveals the hormonal battleground. You will see a measurable increase in circulating cortisol, the stress hormone that helps mobilize fat and maintain glucose via gluconeogenesis. Counterbalancing this is a dramatic, measurable surge in growth hormone GH, a protective hormone that mobilizes fat and conserves muscle mass, the protein-sparing effect. 3. Lipid profile, the fat mobilization story. Since the body runs solely on fat, this profile is dramatically altered. You'll see a significant measurable increase in circulating free fatty acids, FFAs, the direct measurable output of fat cells undergoing lipolysis. Furthermore, total cholesterol and LDL might increase acutely. This is a common measurable data point during intense fat burning. It reflects the mass mobilization of fat, requiring more lipoprotein trucks to transport the raw fuel through the bloodstream. 4. The autophagy metric, the invisible data. While autophagy, the body's self-cleaning, is hard to measure directly, we track measurable surrogate markers. A measurable plummet in insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, is one of the strongest indicators that the body has shifted from a growth storage state to a maintenance repair autophagy state. Conclusion: the dry, fast blood work narrative. The measurable data gathered from tracking blood work on a dry fast paints an undeniable picture of extraordinary metabolic adaptation. It's a physiological narrative of scarcity, survival, and conservation. Told through numbers, stable too low glucose, for example, 65-80 milligrams DL. An explosive surge into deep nutritional ketosis, for example, 2.0-4.0 mol L. GKI rapidly descending, for example. GKI is less than or equal to 2.0. Evidence of intense fluid conservation and kidney stress bun. Creatinine elevated. The survival signals of high cortisol, soaring growth hormone, and plummeting IGF-1. And the mass mobilization of fat, high FFAs, transiently elevated LDL. The measurable data is the ultimate scientific arbiter. It confirms that the dry fast is not simply fasting without water, but a fundamentally distinct metabolic state that forces the body into its most efficient, resource-conserving mode in a fraction of the time compared to a water fast. The science is clear. The human body is a masterpiece of survival, capable of switching its entire infrastructure in a matter of hours. The blood work is the empirical proof of this profound transformation. Always remember, the data is the guide, and this level of metabolic stress should only be undertaken with informed awareness of the risks and, ideally, medical supervision. Thank you.